Hello and welcome back, everybody, to more VALORANT NA Challengers. I'm your host, Gompers, and you know your casters so far. We're pretty much accustomed to them by now. But of course, the games that we saw previously were a banger. Let me just say, Oxygen, Redux, that's a pretty good pair, Tenric.
Oh, yeah, it always has been and always will be. Redux is enabled by 4 of the best players in North America, and Redux also just so happens to be one of the best players in North America. It's the perfect combination. But that really doesn't speak enough to everyone on Oxygen who gave such a monumental effort to a pinpointed defense on B site. I do not blame Dobros for the overcooking they had to end up doing because nothing else was really working that well.
No, it literally was like everything was getting shut down. There were occasions where DB, they started to look solid, but when you're going against a team that has so much cohesion, obviously you saw the double team up there in the highlights. They just knew what they were doing, especially playing against a team like DB. They've had so much just experience playing against top teams like this, and obviously it seems to work out having a zoomer on their team who can aim well, who can play the game well, and who can just carry on that jet and not be fearful of getting those entries in. But Keg, I'm curious, obviously with the loss coming through from the other side of DB, how are things going? We talked about, let's move on to the next map and call it GG's, but how easy is that going to be?
It's going to be a lot easier for me to say for them to do it, though. It's going to be a tough one. I mean, look, you have the same exact result as we saw in the previous series. 13-3 for Oxygen against DB. Same exact thing between M80 and Core. Core did manage to bring it back more on Icebox, and that was one of the best maps that M80 have in their arsenal. Dobros are not Core. So this is going to be a lot more difficult. I think there'll be a lot more leeway for more fraggers on DB to find more impact in this next matchup, but Oxygen, they've played Sunset quite a bit. They've got a lot cooking too.
Yeah, we didn't see a deadlock on Ascent this time, but we did see pretty casual back to the OG types of compositions. Obviously, 2 of the MVPs being Precision and Redux. Precision surprisingly had a really good matchup, obviously. Not as good as Redux going that 23-12, but playing into that duelist role. Obviously, you have to highlight the duelist. Tenric, I'm going to pass it back to you. I know you said that Redux is the number 1, obviously, player that you think is the number 1 player. But I mean, why is that? Why does Redux play so well?
I mean, it really just comes from how well he can execute off of communication. I don't know, like, I don't know the intricacies of comms for Oxygen. I know they're passed off from time to time, but man, oh man, whoever's doing it at whatever time has got to love calming the Redux because he just executes so immediately off of what you have to do. I do want to give a quick shout out to Precision very quickly for getting those 12 kills. Again, a lot of them came from kind of just having to babysit whoever was manning the front line at whatever time and trading off of that, but that was still really important, and it was one of the many tools that we did see in DB's kit that led to some level of success that I'd love to see replicated in Sunset.
Yeah, I mean, going off of what you were saying in terms of Redux, I think his general awareness is really different compared to most duelists and jets that we see, even in Challengers. It's at that level where it's becoming like tier 1 potential. You're able to hold your own, you can think for yourself, you're not necessarily relying on your teammates. I mean, it's good to, but you don't need to rely on them to make those executes amazing.
Now, but moving forward, we do obviously we're going back to the map picks and bans. Ascent going that 13-4 in regards to Oxygen, winning that out on the first map, feeling confident, and then going to a map pick that's theirs. Tenric, honestly, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, Oxygen feel really good on this map. They haven't lost it in like a really long time. November, I think, is the last time they lost on it. And they've played it pretty consistently. I mean, it is one of the maps that they will allow to bypass the ban pool in favor of going for stuff like Lotus and Icebox. They really love the condensed fights. That's where they thrive. And that's where they're going to again. This is going to be a real masterclass. I'm really excited.
Yeah, and this is Oxygen starting off on the attack too. This is their preferred side on one of their preferred maps. You're looking at 10-3 score lines in terms of attack and defense rounds, 8-4, 7-5. So like, this has been their side to start off on.
I will say, it has gone very, very close in previous matchups on Sunset to where they almost did hit OT. Even against teams like Core, M80, YFP, right? So I will say it is a great map for this team. I think Oxygen, they're going to roll with it. They most likely are going to close it out like they always do. They haven't lost this map just yet throughout the whole entire season, coming through from Challengers. But do I think that there is potential for this to be a closer game? Absolutely. I think there's potential for maybe DB to pull through with something. Obviously, they did look a little messy on Ascent, but I think that really is just because Redux was balling, Keg.
Yeah, I mean, Redux was doing an amazing job. If there's a chance to bring it back for DB, it's going to be now. They have the potential to bring out a wild comp. You're not adhered to the usual 5 on Ascend. The more variety, I think, gives more of an opportunity for DB to really capitalize on it.
I agree. I think that you can really switch it up, especially with the recent changes to the meta. A lot of players might feel comfortable going off of the roles. Raze is still in both of these comps the last time we saw them, and I'd love to see that phased out. I know Gecko has been kind of toyed with by both of these teams before on Sunset, but there's a lot of options that both of these guys could really go to throw off the opposition, especially since Dobros are so good at that tempo shift on the defense.
Yeah, but my big concern, though, with Sunset is that you need a lot of communication to bring out those more interesting agents like Breach, Gecko, and that was not something I saw from DB at all on Ascent. I think a major issue why they weren't able to execute on attack and defense rounds is that they weren't really communicating with each other in game.
All right, well, speaking of in-game, we do have the agent selection for both sides, so we're going to be able to see what Sunset's looking like. I'm expecting the KO. I'm expecting a great composition on both ends, and that's exactly what we're going to get. Guys, I want to hear your thoughts on it. Take it away.
I mean, look, communication's gonna be everything here for Dobros. You have yourself Gecko, you have Breach, you don't really have a lot of information-based utility to work off of, but you do have a lot of regen utility. If Dobros can work in unison, allow Zachary to find impact with that boom bot, they're gonna be in a safe spot on this defense.
Agreed. As long as you enable early and then enable late, you should be fine for Dobros. You just have to avoid that onslaught that Oxygen has to offer with their composition. Starting out on the attack, the KO plus Breach combo allows you to not only push with a lot of power on one end, but allows you to push with a decent amount of power on several ends. I would love to see a lot more mid presence here. That's something that a lot of teams have kind of been toying with like a single lurker, but Oxygen could really go full force to take over top mid. I think that could be such a fun way to switch things up and make sure Dobros, don't get too comfortable in their defensive positions, have to really watch their backs.
Yeah, I'm really keeping an eye on Drone into this matchup here. Communication off of his utility needs to be everything. Riku, they're in a good spot too. A 4-stack in mid right away. I guess you wish it shall be granted, huh?
Yeah. Dapper's going to be the only one who pokes his head out, and Zachary is going to be able to very quickly shut that down. Solid 2-shot. And that must be the signal for Oxygen to execute ASAP, knowing how much presence is over here from mid. It's going to come straight from Market, and Oxygen are going to opt to try to take that fight. Redux does get ahead, but is stopped early by Ange, so can't really do any damage. And from there, Dobros can kind of mow it down. They will win another pistol round, which is a wheelhouse that they've been more than confident and capable in across the splits, despite the lack of wins.
Yeah, I believe DB's won every pistol round so far this series.
Yeah, and that's not too far off. I think their win rate is one of the best from Split 2 so far, like in general anyway. Like they've been pretty consistent. I know they won a lot of their pistol rounds against Core last week, which again, they faced them here on Sunset 2, and they looked great on the defense. That early mitigation is not something you can rely as heavily on because Oxygen are not as fully forward as Core tends to be on the attack.
Yeah. I mean, look at consistency, right? If you're able to win all these pistol rounds and you have the advantage of the buy-ups, I'm wondering if DB's struggle right now is just based off of utility presence.
Well, if you're able to trade out the util, then you don't have to worry about it as much. With Mitch shut down, that's a lot of weight off of Dobro's shoulders and a whole lot of weight on Verno's to see what he can get done in the remainder of this round, where they're just trying to shave off a gun or two here to get rid of like Ange's Outlaw would be really sick here, but it's like you said, it's really tough. There's not a lot to go off of. You kind of have to let it fly all at once, and with no guns to help you out, it's really tough to do that. But Redux is able to finesse the Sheriff off of the dead body and nab that first kill for Oxygen's favor. It does not fully shift Dobros over just yet, though.
Riku's by themselves. Full utility, Wingman, Mosh, good for stall, 45 seconds left. All this delay, though, a good call for DB to rotate back over. They have Lincoln backside to work with. But they don't know about Dapper. The timing.
Oh, yeah, that's really tough. Riku perfectly done. And now the oncoming pressure means that the rest of Dobros are gonna hop on early. Zachary getting the drop on Redux, and Oxygen, unfortunately, spread far too thin to make a mountain out of this molehill. Nothing doing from here unless Verno is able to maybe crack out a peek from an anxious gamer, but I don't think that's going to happen. Riku is your best idea of a victim, and victim they are not this round. 2-0 Dobros yet again to kick things off.
Remember though, this is expected from DB. They've won these 2 rounds very consistently. Oxygen, as soon as those rifles come into their hand, have turned into a completely different beast. And this is their preferred side. They always get the upper half of 5 rounds, even more, on their attacking side. When they went up against Core, they won 10. And they still won the game. So let's hope for now that DB can hold themselves steady. 4-stack on A. Attempted gamble here, leaving Precision all by themselves on B side with a single trip. Make that 2 now. This is going to be a tough gamble to swallow. Especially with the raise nade from Redux. The break, not even the unbreakable trip. It's much more forward facing.
Yeah, this one is just staring him down. Precision gonna have to play off of it earlier. Can't find too much, but we'll guarantee that they're there and not give anything else away from DB. Good on them to force the pistol onto that Cypher to make sure that you have everybody fully kitted for this retake, which is gonna start after this smoke dissipates. There it goes.
Flash.
Do toss that out early just to mitigate. Yeah, you're playing for slowdown first here because you still have so much on main that you can kind of just let Redux be the only thing that Oxygen has to fight with so far on Spike. And he can do a whole lot. How about another? Precision, blinded, found, killed. Redux, hungry for more. Ange can at least shut that down, but there is absolutely no way Dobros have the time to deal with this. They will grab their gun and say thank you very much and hand the bonus to Oxygen.
Good save for the Vandal. Good save for a Bulldog as well. Only 1 body loss for OXG. It's really, really good for them. They can reinvest into a new Vandal. Maybe even Scuba can hand off that Bulldog to somebody else. Who's to say? And Redux already 1 orb away from getting their showstopper. If they can farm A orb here, they can go for a very fast entry on the site. Precision's only been playing on B, and that means a lack of a Sentinel's presence on A. You can have a lot of distance and a very explosive A-link control.
That's why there's so much immediately placed up by Dobros here. Are they going to try and meet here? It is entirely possible to play for the 2 corners, or at the very least, seems like Zachary is going to get his feet wet. Yeah, he'll poke out with Ange, and they'll try to tunnel this down, make sure that OXG have to kind of leave a bit to the wayside, or at least toss some util back. Zachary just barely avoiding the shots fired after the fault line. Will at least back away for a moment, but Ange and Zachary saying they own that A main line, and so Oxygen, they'll set their sights elsewhere. They'll speed on through mid into market, and this is a huge change of pace for Oxygen. Precision shut down on main by a lurking Dapper, and B site is unequivocally OXG's.
DB had the right read for the win condition into this round. The stall on Ace, or make sure that Redux couldn't grab it, but now losing Precision by themselves. DB, they have a mountain to climb. They have no information on site. Redux and Verno have this amazing cross hold. Any utility for the stall here is going to make it even longer for DB to get on site, let alone close to the spike itself.
They'll try to spread their resources as thinly as they're allowed to, but Zachary once again has to be that opener. OXG able to save a lot of face, but Ange gets the good swing onto Mitch. And with the wingman, Riku does have a little bit of fodder, is going to have to jump on themselves, and there's too much in the way. Down main, Scuba grabbing the last kill, grabbing the last gun, make go for the chase down. Nope, gonna die on site where Spike detonates and gives OXG their second.
And this goes back to what I was talking about back on Ascent. I'm really curious to know what the comms are like for Dobro's side because, again, Precision all by themselves, great stall on A site, preventing Redux from finding Showstopper. Precision's just lurking up B and not aware that there could be a potential crossover from mid or even B site itself. So I'm really curious to know if he knew that Oxygen had already left and been starting the cross, or whatever the situation was, he completely gave up B site, and that costed them the round.
Yeah. Maybe looking for that orb hold if they decided to double back, but it really just isn't worth it at the end of the day. And TP too late, Redux. 1 showstopper, 1 kill. Keep count, because he is not done. Paint shells to thwart Redux, though perfectly thrown by Zachary, so ultimately a solid trade. That results in the flashpoint getting used immediately for a huge push for OXG that won't see anything stopping it, save for Drone, who is able to at least stop Mitch from being the one to plant. OXG have more than enough time, space, and people, and guns, though, to get this spike down. It's just precision with a lowly Cyber Cage and Sheriff in hand. Will spot Scuba, but can you do anything with it? I don't know, man. It's really rough to get anything else from here, but there is a bank for DB, so he'll search for something. Precision will find Dapper, well done. But already knowing not enough time to really make anything of this, but he's gonna go for it anyway, really. Give this the old college try. Verno, though, shuts it down on the immediate check, and will grab the third round for Oxygen.
Yeah, Dobros has been a team that goes for very, very early timeouts here. Wouldn't be surprised if it comes out either this round or the next.
This goes here.
Has to figure out a way to evade out A site. Retakes on B needs some work as well. Big explosion for Redux though back on A. Good conditioning factor that they may not try to push as heavy without that. Mid site though, barely touched by Oxygen except for the mid-round cross. Dobros, they want to capitalize on that. Recognizing that space they can clear themselves and hold on to potentially and stuff out Oxygen into a funnel. They have to do whatever they can to make sure Oxygen do not get any more space than they needed.
Well, this is a good attempt by Zachary. Again, just on an island, though. He puts so much weight on his shoulders. He's this is under the promise that he gets 2 every time he comes in this far. But so far he's been shut down so often, and this time will be no different. Mitch, the one to get the kill, and once again, Dobros have nothing to really work off of here, so they can't really move. But Oxygen also now have their pick of the litter. Not sure where they'll scope out yet, but they got 55 seconds, so take your time.
As you mentioned, a minute left on the clock now. Look at DB's positions. Very little tradability on A site. Has to hide away, rat in the corners. Again, one and done for Manj. He could try to Shrouded Step, but he's hit by the suppressing knife. He's unable to do that now. Luckily, he backs up and gives up some space, but it's all a big fake to go back to B site. There is no command from Mitch. They're going to try to stuff out this Cypher. Precision's backside and Boba to avoid the potential null command, and they had to play for a solid retake. But giving up so much space in the process is going to be huge.
There's the null command. And also the TP from Ange canceled. Didn't want that bad position. And Dobros will, in response, play for the late retake. Redux double dipping, but with the blind can get away scot-free with that kill on Precision. And now, where is your nail on main to even slow this down so you have a chance of getting on Spike consistently?
I think you have to save.
You do. You absolutely do. That is such a great early pick by Redux, and that's not the last time that's going to happen for him either. I wouldn't even be mad at him if he went hunting here.
I mean, you should if you're Oxygen. You have that advantage of having a map now in your favor. You have plenty of money in the bank. And honestly, the confidence difference right now for Oxygen allows them to get so much free value. Oh, he's waiting for the push-up in the smokes.
I don't think he's got time. Oh, he gave it a go. Hey, there we go. Nice. I mean, hey, any gun is crucial when the eco is this, like, unstable. But Dobros, like, if they don't call a timeout here, I don't know when they will.
I mean, look, I don't, again, want to sound like a negative, okay, I was going to say a negative Nelly, but like.
Happy New Year.
Is it worth calling a timeout at this point, right? Oh, no, I know that sounds really like BM,
yeah,
but
no, I know what you mean.
Yeah, because you're giving an extra minute to Oxygen now to reinforce everything they've been doing right and figure out how they can switch even that up into the next few rounds. DB, strategies are good. This has to be a mental reset. You gotta just chill for a second. The faces here, look at them. I don't see any smiles. This is dire straits right now for DB's side. But sometimes that's all you need. It's just a minute to decompress and really reset and figure out, okay, well, how do we hold A side better? Because I promise you that's where Oxygen's going to go next.
That definitely feels like that's where we're going. They really enjoy making that work, especially when they have an early advantage. And Dobros have been more susceptible to peeking out of A main first as well. So if OXG find the right time to util dump, it could be an easy snowball regardless of what buy DB go for here, which I imagine is not this, but
Triangulation with 3 ults too.
yeah, this is gonna be a wonky round, bro.
Wait, Tanric, look at this though. Look at the position right now of Zachary. Double blast pack showstopper as soon as contact's made.
But they're going through tiles.
Oh, they are.
That's
They're
so
avoiding that.
unlucky, dude. Oh man. And mid is free. This is the one place that Dobros had to neglect with what resources they had to spread. And now heading up back to top mid as the smoke goes. Riku can at least find one. Scuba has yet to be sussed out, but the rest of OXG is going to head back to A main.
Oh, as soon as you tap orb, showstopper.
This is going to be the perfect connection for Zachary's own showstopper. He just lets it go now. Scatter, gone, one. I think Redux blast packed over him, but Riku is there to save the day. As the trade comes back, and OXG once again will get stopped. But look at where Scuba has made his way to. Precision doesn't see it coming at all. Immediate paranoia on top of Riku. Can't finalize, and Drone can get back in time. But man, was that testy. Verno, last one remaining. Could save, but is dragged into a fight versus Ange.
Wait,
can win that. This
orb
is so
gathered?
winnable. This is so winnable.
They skip orb. Verno, if they get 2 more, they can Rolling Thunder to the last, but they might not need to. That's the op.
Yeah, he has to play
Start
forward
in
too because
5.
he knows Breach is here. Avoids the
Full
fault
utility.
line. 15 seconds. Somebody's coming back through main. You got to do this now, man. Big swing
know.
off the mosh. Oh, and hopping right back in. Caught. Too much time wasted, and Dobros will make it work.
A moment of reprieve there for Dobros. Great usage of the timeout. A re-strategization about how to use some of these ultimates. Great way of even hurting and manipulating the rotates from Oxygen's side. Great mid control, a good consistent factor that, for the most part, has worked for DV outside of, say, a few opening picks against them. But otherwise now, Oxygen, the ball is quite literally in their court. They know how effective A main can be. Very well aware that this Raze cannot get the showstopper again. They may be able to take that site back for free. But there is Thrash available for Riku. They're going to wait for the same contact play again before they bring out that ult.
Dapper alone in camera. Trying to obfuscate OXG's umpteenth approach to mid. But they know that Dobros are really good at hitting that top mid really quick. So they won't take their chances for too long. Just smoke it out and hope that they shift the weight. And technically they will, but Precision, I mean, this is a great non-committal hold. You allow for still 2 on each end, and this is a great read by Dobros, having both of your B holders waiting on that mid door. The fault line activated, but that doesn't cover everything, and you can't use all your util at once. Zachary, though, can take care of everything all by himself. That's the prospect I expect.
The freedom of movement for Dobros here is so much more different from Ascent, where you're so constricted. Scuba's gone, Dapper's the last one left.
My ultimate is ready.
Finally revealed, but there's so many angles you gotta manage.
Neural Theft available. He just has to get close enough.
30
He has
seconds
to
left.
fight 2 to get that ult. Oh no, the offloader.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no good angle to take there for Dapper, and it's another very well-timed read by Dobros that is enacted perfectly by Zachary, who is now sitting at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, but Oxygen are over-engineering their rounds. Timeouts needed, yeah. Afraid, it seems, to push directly into A or B main. Think of it as a solution to push through the small little lanes on mid. But that's actually their downfall. They're allowing way too much manipulation from Dobro's end to find repositions, especially Riku on that operator, who's been catching every single member of Oxygen off guard. And remember, there's a lot of ultimates again that OXG can work off of here for a fast A take. Precision has not really moved their Sentinel utility outside of B. I would be surprised if Oxygen don't follow up with this timeout off of a fast execution on A site. And look, if I'm Dobros, I'm aware of this too. Like, okay, we're not really putting up a lot on A site these last few rounds. We're probably gonna have to gamble stack this one just in case. And this time, Precision just can't push up B main.
It feels like Oxygen are... You're right, they're very scared, but they also... It feels like they feel like they need to have an off angle to play off of. And I get it, like it has some good payoff a lot of the time, and it lets you rotate a bit quicker because you kind of dissolve a lot of the intel that the other team has. But OXG have sacrificed a lot of their play speed for that, especially in mid, and it's starting to show. DB is starting to take good advantage of it, and hyper-aggressive defense will actually lead to 2 players on OXG basically watching a Thrash just dashing towards them. It'll give a lot of presence here to Dobros, who will actually fully exit B main and make it an impossibility. And Zachary is holding off tiles. OXG are entirely getting vacuumed into A site here. Oh, but Mitch spotted and one more on you. Zachary has to let that go. And that's the time for OXG to fully commit to this A site that Dobros have willingly given to them.
Scuba, 1 off ult, Redux 2. A lot of explosivity here. Look at Verno, Rolling Thunder available.
Oh, the re-up on the Thrash. But can you act on it? Not really. Still held up on Lynx, still held up on boxes. Scuba is going to take a back seat, but the real presence is up Link. Dapper shut down first, everybody having to back away. You have to take this fight against Precision first if you really want to survive this, but they can't. They have to turn around both ways, and Ange and Precision can hold down both of those front lines. It's Dobros who enact on several off angles and turn it into a lead.
So far, this has been the biggest struggling attack we've seen from Oxygen since Challengers had begun. Great anti-shotting from DB here. They were focusing on the Sunset so much, and it's paying off so well. Drone now Rolling Thunder available. Another gamble stack could be made. And going back to what you said before, the information gathering that DB has isn't really a lot outside of Cypher. You have some Gecko utility like Dizzy that would find some information.
Yeah.
But DB's whole reliance is on these contact plays. You expect Oxygen to play so much faster to overwhelm these defenders before they have a chance to reposition off of info.
And this comp also just really favors DB's defense anyway, because you're DB is at this place where like Oxygen kind of have to flush them out, but if DB play in unflushable places, then they can kind of just dry swing, and OXG doesn't necessarily want to sacrifice the util every time to deal with that. So a lot of safety in these fights, a lot of safety in the pack mentality that DB's also been playing. It looks like they're going to have another triple takedown Link again and be able to kind of spread that however way they want to. They can turn it into as much of a CT grab as they want to, or the opposite, in which they'll fully play off of this Rolling Thunder. It looks like that's going to be the move. And there's an immediate hold by Redux, who escapes. Yeah, Scuba will get out as well. Still trying to hold this fight against Riku, but Riku wins out that. How is the rest of DB doing, though? Looks like a Cypher ult is also going to get used by OXG here to guarantee Riku's position. And oh, but Mitch steps out, forced away by the Aftershock, and Drone can swing off the rest. But Verno still holding it down. Riku missing the shots. And OXG hold on by a thread, making it 5-5.
Huge round. That Rolling Thunder could have been everything. Scuba could have been the savior of that round so much earlier had they not lost that fight against Riku's operator. Oh, fast is the way to go on Sunset. It's such a small map, so many corners that you can take 50-50s on. And now Oxygen are finding that confidence again to take it very aggressive prowesses. Mitch now, no command available. Look at Precision's location, hiding in mid as far away from that ult as possible. Stack up on B, waiting to see if that utility, that ultimate, can come through. But Oxygen default back in the mid. They're looking for those rotations, any audio, maybe a way to split push in the marketplace. They do have better info gathering than DB does. They're not utilizing it in marketplace too much.
Ooh, wait, I like this though. Oxygen, they're finally, yeah, I agree. I think the conditioning for top mid was really good for Dobros, but this is a really good offshoot from OXG. This smoke.
Yeah, they can hear the rotates.
To cut off the top mid. Yeah, you're so much more scared. Look how far back Precision is right now. Like,
They're just waiting for Mitch to use that ult. But guess what? You attack B site, you don't need that ult. You can have Mitch activated there and hit everybody else in the vicinity.
Yep. You can kind of put him wherever you want to. Yeah, there's the null command. And so the question is, who fights this? It's Ange, actually. He's just going to walk into it. And Mitch has no supporters. So what does OXG do? Just push a 4v5, I guess, unfortunately. And they have to do it with no true flash. Well, except for the breach flash, I guess. You do have that. But Ange will finalize that kill on a Mitch. No support coming their way. And Now still standing on site, free of charge. Oh, the turn before the fall line activates. Redux's timing, not good enough, and that might be all she wrote. They still get the plant down, though. And for the 2v5, DB getting in has always been the hard part, but a couple tools still available. The paranoia is one. Dapper having to stay put. And an early watch by Verno will force this crunch onto one side of the fight. It's got to be Market side, but that's 3v2 already. They've waited so properly in DB. They will collect upon it, grabbing the lead back, making it 6-5.
Such an incredible entry from Oxygen, just barely slightly mistimed. If we had seen that B entry as soon as Mitch had activated that ult, I think this would have been a very different story. Even though Precision didn't have their utility disabled by the ultimate, they were still so far out of position, they weren't able to help out their team whatsoever. But by the time Mitch had fully gone down, it was already not even an entry from Oxygen on B main yet. They were too slow to the draw, and A side has been the preferred side this whole time. DB possibly ending this first half in the lead over Oxygen will be a huge mainstay. And Gomper said it too. This has been a lot of very close games in Oxygen on this map, despite them having such a dominant win. Such a many wins converted, but they've all been super close.
Oh, Zachary is back again. An undeterred attempted push from OXG on the tough buy will lead to that ultimate being used proactively yet again working. Oh, Dapper. Your cage doesn't cover everything. And these little moments, these hairpin mistakes. Riku, okay, well.
2v3.
Yeah, hold on a moment.
Verno surrounded.
I can still make this work.
Away.
I mean, you could fully reset. You have 55 on the clock. You could play this like a
true.
default 2v3 again.
But keep in mind, Ange has ult. You can position yourself anywhere on the map. Info, free position value, lack of info. At least it's down to just Scuba. Scuba is playing such a slow game. This is like CIA level sneaking around. A secret mission to B site. I can't believe this might work. Now, if Scuba can get this timing down, smoke on B, plant down, reposition up Boba, might be able to get the drop in at least 2.
Yeah, he's got it. He's got to play active for sure.
Oh, he's not going to play active,
no,
though.
he's... Oh, wait.
He might go Marketplace.
Yeah, he's going to go to Market to go to Boba and then try to rotate back off of it.
I don't know if I agree with that, though. I'd rather him just push Boba. Marketplace is just a big funnel for him.
We'll
The
hop
smoke,
in.
too, could block his way.
So we'll just watch Boba. I mean, he does have an angle on this, but it's a really tough one. Where's your first? Here we go. Oh, big spray fight. DB enters as a unit. Huge TP.
Oh
Nobody
God.
sees that coming, but your gun's not out. And so Ange can get the drop anyway, and DB will indeed end the half with a lead.
And Ange did some great psychological warfare by bringing out from the shadows. You don't know where that omen was. That's why Scuba was waiting on B main for so long, assuming that he was going to be crunched in that final round. But all playing together. Such great decision making from Dobros. A complete turnaround from map 1.
Yeah, this was really great communication coming from Dobros. Let's see if it translates onto the attack. And I mean, they have a comp that's really well built for it. But Oxygen's defense, we have yet to see it really play too much of a role in any game so far. So I'm excited to see what they have in store, how aggressive they're going to want to be, and how much of mid they're going to want to take up. But I guess I'll just have to wait a little longer.
I mean, hey, good time to mention that the last time we had seen Oxygen convert a game win on this map where they won more defense rounds was back in April.
Jeez.
2 months. And which, funny enough, was the last time they also played Ascent.
Yeah, and on that note, this is the worst attack on Sunset they've had since November, I think. Yeah, since November, since that time that they lost.
That YFP game came close. They got 6 attacking
Yeah,
rounds.
and then they dominated on defense and went 7-2, which was their best defensive half out of the 6 straight wins on this map that they've gotten so far. So
Yeah.
I really don't know what to think of that. I mean, retrospectively, that attack half, it seemed like there were a lot of questions being raised by Oxygen in the latter 3 rounds. I think they have a lot of I think they have a lot of tools in their kit for defense. I think they're able to play a bit proactively if they want to. I don't think Redux is going to take that role. I think Redux is going to play entirely geared towards retakes. I think it's going to be more of an initiator clash, if anything.
Yeah, I could see that too. I'd really like to see Oxygen just take advantage of the lack of info that Dobros could bring, because the best info gathering tool you have is Riku's kit. A Dizzy. Ooh. You don't have a Faye, you don't have a Sova on this map. We're not in 2023 anymore. We don't see that as often. But
I would love to see Neon on it.
Yeah. I mean, look, if I was Oxygen right now, I'd be looking back on a set and saying, look, we destroyed these guys. We did such a good job, in terms of just pure mechanical, that we should be able to do it again on this map, with or without info. But it really seems to me that Oxygen are just over-engineering a lot of their attacks. They don't want to seem like they can be readable, which inadvertently makes them pretty readable. So I'm curious to see how fundamental they want to play this defense.
Yeah, they played very fundamentally on Ascent, which, is a breeding ground for fundamentals, so no surprise there. But, I mean, they did it so convincingly that Dobros were kind of stun-locked for the same way we saw Oxygen, kind of, in this latter bit of the half. So, the question is the 5 enough? Because capability is out of the question.
Well,
both of these teams are great on this half.
Think about this too, right? Dobros have won every pistol and buy-up round. You're looking at potential 9-5.
It's true. They did lose second buy-up round last map.
That's true.
They did
one
fumble.
instance.
But they've been really consistent on pistols, and grabbing a 9-5 lead here would be sublime.
And that's nearly double the rounds over Oxygen. That would be probably the most dominant performance against OXG, I think, in Challengers.
Really, has nobody gotten that many rounds on OXG?
I think so.
It tracks. That's just wild.
Yeah, looking back now,
are you talking on Sunset or general?
I was gonna say in general, but they went 9-13 against SAD not too long ago.
Right. Yeah,
that's Dobros. Excuse me.
This is really a tough. I mean, I'm not sure what to say coming out of that, because I think both teams, they showed their hands pretty well. They kind of, we know what they're all about on the halves that they played, but the beautiful thing about Sunset is that your playstyles can be so much different, even though your comps are the same on a map like this. Like, OXG could go, fully forward on a one-side push occasionally on defense if they want. Like, they could go for the full flanks that we saw, inklings of from Dobros. And they can go for these big, death balls through orb chokes or whatever. But
yeah,
I don't know if, like you said, I don't know if they want to do that, because there's not a lot of intel gathering for DB, so they might want to play as slowly as DB did.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a lot of opportunities there for Oxygen, if that's the case, the re-clear.
Which they love doing.
Oh, okay, good early knife, spotting out at least one. Hold down on B site, no trip. On B main. Wingman available. Could be a wingman plant. Okay. Riku grabbing orb. Looks like DB want to fish for that thrash as soon as humanly possible and go for a fast round somewhat later on. They're going to go for a gigantic crunch over B. Distraction factor B main? No, not even. Top mid, then B main.
And the fight will happen in the entrance to Boba. Mitch good for 1. But Zachary continuing the charge. Ooh, immediate attention to Boba. That's precision caught, but Zachary again the refrag. Gonna look for lucky number 3 as the push from B main comes in, but that's all that's left now. Riku can let little guy get the spike down, and they will have to handle a 1v2, both coming from Boba, both at basically full health. Ooh. Huge double swing. Oh, that was exactly how I wanted them to do it too. That was great. And that will be Oxygen taking the pistol. The first one that they've taken so far this series.
That's right. Dapper came through like a spider monkey. That was crazy. Whoa. Okay. Passionate talk. Oh, don't do it to him. That would hurt. But, I mean, okay, 6-7 now. Huge for Oxygen. Now they get that buy-up round, assumingly they convert it. bringing it back to a 1-point differential. That might mean DB aren't going to be able to convert this next round. Their buy-ups have been a little shaky at times, but more often than not, I feel they do convert them to their favor. This could be a tied series.
Yeah, I mean, any of those fights could have really gone either way, in my opinion. I think that Dobros are doing a great job of catching OXG members slacking and sort of giving them the wake-up call of the fight. But you have to act on that really, really quickly, and that window of time is brutally small. Because, again, the mechanics of this OXG roster is really, really refined. Yeah. Dobros continuing the escapade as the full stack, except Precision is going to take a little walk down B main, see what they can maybe grab. Oh, huge lurk from Dapper. This is a bit risky. A lot coming his way, but he still finds the shot. And Dobros, they will not trade off of it because the Aftershock is able to save him. Oh, I love the double initiator. I love the Cypher with the breach combo. This is so fun. This is so cool.
Pulling a Superman right there.
That's just, that's such a great guarantee kill. It doesn't even matter that you burned a bunch of util there. That's just so well done. Good shot from Redux to shut down the lurk as well. And Dobros, the moment seemingly has passed. A lot launched into an attempt of a fight, but unfortunately it was cut far too short. Happens to the best of us, will happen to the rest of us. And Gendrone, though, will manage to each get theirs and turn this to a rowdy 2v3 that they're able to plant Spike on top of as well. Gonna have to go for steps. Again, playing the distance. That's the unfortunate truth of playing the long game for Sunset. And as Scuba will hop back over, the rest of Oxygen, the cavalry will come calling, and with no guns to show for themselves, Dobros can't put up all too much of a fight, unfortunately, this time around. It's a tie game here on Sunset.
I like the decision-making that DB were bringing at the start of round, recognizing where Mitch's knife would go early on, then trying to push up beyond that to make that information useless. Redux, though, was still good to remove away Precision's life that round, so late lurk might be discoverable later on, and maybe lurks in general could be shut down from that factor. But going back to that knife, right? Mitch is going to be instrumental on this defense. He has the single biggest advantage that Oxygen have over DB. We mentioned it before. Info gathering, hands-on Riku. They are only good to use that Dizzy. Precision with camera, sure. But Mitch has that knife that can go long distances. You have lineups. You have so much value on that regen utility that you can hold down a site by yourself.
Oh, a couple shots taken immediately here. Zachary's paint shells somehow end up finding Redux. Great throw. Before, again, the lion's share of the fight is taken. So, mid control in the cards for Dobros here. Oxygen kind of okay with that. They're holding very far back because they want this util to get burned. They know it has to get burned in order for Dobros to securely attack because, like you said, no intel. That's
right. Boombot. Any of Riku's util, really. And just paranoia. All things I'd consider holding far back, waiting for this attack to start. 55 seconds left on the clock now. Cyphercam doesn't spot much from Oxygen's end. They could hear the audio off of the orb, though. Cam spotting at least one. Call hasn't been made to rotate. No information just yet. Mitch has been holding on to the knife. He's going to be late to the party at the end. He might be able to flank, though, if they can take down Precision.
Oh, but you have to clear this. And Dapper will not let that happen. Huge early pick. 25. No more initiators for DB. You gotta just go for it here. Zachary, once again, having to be the guy that just steps into it and will to not an immediate pick off, but just has to kind of live with being hit. And now 2 players hit by Dapper's cam. This is disrespectful, man. Dapper cannot convert into kills, but with no time left, it's a lot of pressure that DB are somehow still able to plant in. Zachary holding down the fight a little bit to grab one more. That is 3 for him, but not enough for Dobros as Oxygen keep 2 standing and will nab the lead back.
Yep, only, 5 more rounds needed to close out this series. Dobros, look, I'd be calling out a timeout fairly early this half, I would say. Maybe not this next round, but maybe the round after that, just to see if this is a consistent factor that they struggle getting that spike into the ground.
Try again.
Try again. Love KO.
He's very he's very proud. It's really great. It's very he makes a great leader.
Okay, Zachary, Showstopper, Redux the same. There's a reality where we see double blast pack Showstoppers early on A main.
I'd love to. I'd love to see Redux do it. Zachary found so much success in it.
No, we won't see that, I hope, from Redux. Redux has Operator. They're going to wait to get contact elbow before they do so. But Zachary could overextend.
Yeah, this is, again, some risky business considering how much util DB's let go early on, but the knife could scare them away a bit more. This cage does not give Redux an easy peek, and Ange has read Redux like a book. Great starter pack for Dobros to connect onto whatever site they choose. It looks like they're going to try to scope out B site again, but Scuba, again, this one lone smoke means you have to use something to get through here.
Yeah, and Scuba's blocking out that orb, waiting for the audio cue, well aware that Riku is one ult orb off of Thrash, and they would use that to entry B site.
I like that. Wingman clears all of main. That's some good usage, but it does force you to wait another like 15 seconds until he's ready again, so you can
That's why you use Thrash.
Go for the plant. Yeah, you gotta get this orb and kind of go for off of this ultimate. But Oxygen, again, that's why they're playing so far back. They're fine with just letting them take side if they need to. That's kind of the risk and reward here. Oh, the immediate knife onto Thrash, though. That's such a major disconnect that Dobros can't really do anything with. And with 30 seconds to go, they see that as the sign to rotate, but Oxygen, as if they have split screen on, are immediately rotating with them. But Dobros, they'll cut it back off. They'll head in through market. Zachary with the showstopper, but no one from OXG's around. They put all of their chips into the A rotation, and it leads to a free B site, but an unvalued showstopper. At the very least, the spike will get planted, and DB get to play a 5v4.
Oxygen wasted so much utility on that anti-B main push that found no value. One flash, one nade, one knife. Huge info.
Yeah, the fault line immediately. DB has to duck back again. Seriously, them playing on site like this is so necessary, but hard to watch. Zachary unable to find anything. Precision gonna swing out. Scuba hopping up. Can finalize the fight, but time is ticking. And OXG still doesn't have a lot of this site to themselves. The smoke to give Mitch some room to breathe. It's just enough to take care of Riku, and Verno early swing onto Ange. It's down to Drone, and Verno manages that too. Oxygen just barely finds time to make this defuse work and get their 9th round.
0.66. Communication on point, but that utility dump on B-Man was so scary. They were working with bare essentials to get that retake done, and they nearly failed out of doing it. Oh, look at the buy now. Operator wasted last round from Redux, couldn't find any value. Forced to bring out this Outlaw, same exact strat. They're going to try to look for that opening pick on A again. Showstopper right after. Blow out the entire horde. But guess what? No one's going to be on A main this round. It's Precision again to wait out the knife and push up after.
Yeah, so how far up will Redux push here? Oh, looks like he's already gotten in position. Oh, Dapper weaving around to find Ange before anybody else can come through. Tough break, kid. And that's one of the opportunities, one of the few that DB will have this round. Unfortunately spent. But again, you can't get hung up on stuff like this. This is a really uphill battle this round. So DB, they're just going to try and search for what they can. Any body is a good one here. The bank is not entirely decided for OXG, at least for the rest of the game. But
Crossfire. Top mid. Scuba cannot falter this.
Can you enter? It's going to be try. Riku. Shots missed against them. Rest of DB turns around into Mitch, who also can't get a kill, but Riku gets stuck in the traffic jam and will ultimately fall. Rest of Dobros on the escape. 2 very low. And again, nothing fully decided yet. Still solid trades. Still good discipline by OXG. DB would love at least a kill here, but I don't know how they're going to get it. There's no full way to exec here. You kind of just have to take a step in to the great unknown. Door shut on market. That's the go signal for DB to aggress some semblance of top mid, and they will at least take that. But the CT rotation from OXG may be in time. No, the Ling presence from Redux has made its way all the way back around, though, and Scuba, unaccounted for, just chilling on site to stall things out. Rest of OXG comes, collapses, and collects for another round for Oxygen.
Oh, If you're Dobros, you're really hoping that Mitch would somehow panic ult that null command and get rid of it on a save round like that, but unfortunately not. Dobros timeout, figuring out, okay, well, Oxygen have a wealth of Fort Knox levels worth of ultimates at their disposal. It's a lot they can do. 3 rounds left. Their buys aren't great. Well, potentially 3 rounds left with Oxygen to win out this series, and DB's money is not in a good spot. They've got to find a way to make this round quick, make those ultimates used this next round so they're not available for Oxygen in the future ones. Honestly, you could, I would say maybe risk it all and go for like a force buy maybe and go into like A site, hope the ults are used. But
that's what I'm thinking.
I don't think you would want to waste a round like that when you're this close to losing a series. I think you play it safe here if you're DB, and I think that's what we're gonna opt to do.
Yeah, I mean, patience is really key here for DB, and I would love to see the aggression, but I know that is not the best answer. They should play slow. They should play for a pick. They should play for OXG to make a mistake, because they've shown that they can make mistakes on this map. It's like the context is there for DB to warrant going for this style of play, but OXG has just been showing up at the right time so far.
Yeah, now that they have 4 ults and nearly 5 to work with, it's going to be even more difficult for DB. And Oxygen, of course, are no dummies. They know full well that they can't waste every ult in this next round. So it's really a matter of what they decide they want to have shown into this next round. And if DB plays slow, it might bait out Scuba's ult. That'd be a good start. Dapper has Neural Theft. That'd be good to remove somewhat early on, but he's definitely going to hold on to that for post plans. Just going to pry away from this arsenal.
No, OXG don't want any of this. They're fine with just letting DB have their way with mid. It is literally a playground. Like, they know it's ultimately not going to be that harmful, and they would rather play control of the hard side anyway. There's a reason there's this 2-stack just hold up and mark it, and that is for the very specific reason that if this is where Dobros push, they need all hands on deck immediately, and there is no excuse. They can rotate basically anywhere else for any other fight but this one, and Dobros, knowing that, want to try and find some way to siphon a lot of that attention away, and they're doing an okay job so far. A bit of a veer towards CT as top mid is back in question with the lack of a smoke means that DB could go for the push through market if they wish. A check into B main to make sure that their lurker and precision is not there. He's not. He's still holed up in A main, which it looks like DB's going to try and cut through on, but Scuba is still able to get one before getting gooed, and there is still this presence up elbow that Mitch is able to deal a lot of damage with because DB still have to be a bit indecisive on this push. There's the neural theft, and Mitch immediately acts. Ange, the paranoia to get away, and Mitch now getting chased down from the other direction. Long lost. Redux, the paint shells to clear the site. Redux, the shorty, to clear Zachary. And it is the rest of the job done on A site. Oxygen make it 11-7. Again, I have so many praises I could speak for Dobros, but that is a waste of time at this point. And Dobros, I think they recognize that too. Oxygen, they're just playing too well.
Yeah. Oxygen, though, they've been a little bit slow on the rotate sometimes, leaving gaps open in mid. Yeah. A lot of singular fights too. It's just a matter of DB having that recognition, clearing angles, and maybe taking those fights and winning them. I mean, that's, you know, FPS basics, yeah, but like, you're potentially 2 rounds away from losing this series. You gotta do something. And the cycling of the ultimates now for OXG have looked really good. Redux in the same spot again. This time a Vandal in hand will go for the immediate showstopper play.
Well, we'll see another... Yeah, the immediacy is... oh, okay, Redux. All right. Well... cool, man.
Yeah.
Hey, he finally got to do it, though.
Yeah, succeeding in that, too, for once.
Yeah.
Oh, for once, like he never can. It's the first time this map he's been able to. Oh, but look at this. Look how separated everyone in OXG are. They have the singular hole here from Scuba. Paranoia
but one smoke and they're slowed down, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, 1 smoke, a Paranoia 2 on that, enough time to rotate, and now enable the Rolling Thunder to find so much value.
Oh, Riku just walks into it, and you have enough time to launch Paranoia, you have enough time to TP away, you have enough time to throw smoke down, and Scuba will call the rotation over. DB need to make this a 3v1, and they need to do it now, but Scuba has the right angle to grab 2 more! Are you joking? Precision stands alone out of nowhere, and Oxygen, they might as well be sitting back in their chairs, because Precision has no answers but does have util once this knife fades away. A cam, a cage, and a boba peek to try to toy with this spike plant, but it is so rough, dude. Has to play this fight, has to at least crack open one and then just skirt out, play for the spike because you only got 20 seconds left. Here we go. Oh, the miss and the blind and the kill. Still one, but that is 12-7 OXG, and the stars look to align here.
Yeah, I mean, going back to ult cycling right now, Mitch, Verno, if they want to close this game out, they can do it immediately. They have two very big omnipresent ultimates that can shut down half of a map. Stack up from DB, they're looking to bait that out right away. They've seen this happen quite a bit now from Oxygen's side. They're a little itchy on that trigger finger. Majority of the rounds, though, Oxygen have gotten have been diffuses. They may try to hold back again and play for that same exact spider web.
Flash.
Early flash, knife is out, 4 detected.
Oh, Scuba.
My ultimate is ready.
Great targeting. It's so funny. He targeted Zach first and then was like, no, the breach is better. I need to go for that meat instead. But he'll still swing back out and collect on Ange as well before throwing one more smoke in and just trying to stop this push a little more. But damage is already done. Dobros, they gotta go, go, go.
Call of the orb, though. If someone picks it up, that's gonna be the null command.
Yeah, the Oxygen can really take their sweet time with this. Scuba's even gonna TP farther into elbow just to see what's going on.
No call of the orb just yet. Got shots heard, though. Contact potentially elbow would enable the ult. Shutting down any potential here. No blast packs available for Zachary. No distance can be made.
You just gotta go for it here.
One
Sink or
enemy
swim.
remaining.
Oh, big sink, unfortunately.
Down A.
Redux the easy hold down, no clear way in, and Zachary, far too much to fight with. It's another OXG victory, and that will be a 6th straight map that they've won this split. They remain completely and irrevocably undefeated.
I will say, though, Oxygen did not look nearly as invincible as I thought they would be into this series. This Sunset map was a struggle for the team at various points. First map, Ascent, looked good, but Sunset, a map that I honestly thought they'd be more dominant on, was a really big harness sometimes for them to lose a lot of rounds.
I couldn't agree more. I think that this defense for Dobros was looking really solid on that half. They were able to consistently manage fights, and honestly, a 5-7 doesn't even speak to their capability because the fights on those 7 rounds that OXG were able to scrape by were close. You can tell they were running out of ideas, which is not something that many teams can do to OXG. Gompers, it's the result we expected. It's not the result you bet on, but it is a result that is welcome for Oxygen fans.
It is the opposite of what I thought, but it is exactly what I thought was going to happen for this map coming through Sunset. I was expecting DB to be able to pull through with some numbers. Again, this map is a great map for Oxygen. They have not lost it. They always pull through no matter what, but it's such a stressful one, to be completely honest. Either way, they definitely came through with the numbers, but like, for you guys, I mean, obviously, end of day, you guys got to see the victory from Oxygen. This team played absolutely immaculate kick.
Yeah, absolutely. They looked really great. Again, the chemistry and the communication, I think, between the teams was probably the biggest factor outside the server that we had seen. Other than that, a lot of just mechanical fundamentals with the experience that many of the players on Oxygen have just been a clear divide across from Dobro's side. But that being said, not something that is impossible to work on. Dobros, they're already on a really good track this second stage to improve over what was the first with 0 wins. And honestly, I think they can just keep improving from here.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. This is literally the hardest it gets for Dobros. The rest of this split is smooth sailing comparatively, and I think they should really hold their heads high. I think the VOD review they're going to get out of this is really amazing, and I think that the work that they put in really shows, especially on Sunset. I really love watching this team flow. All 5 of these players are really interesting, and I can't wait to see what they do next.
For Dobros, especially with, obviously, we got to see how many maps they won throughout the season, which was only 3, but I would say their gameplay today was absolutely outstanding.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm really expecting them moving forward to feel confident, like going within every game that they have in the future, because obviously 2 MVPs coming in, Zachary and Redux, Zachary played immaculately today.
I mean, to recontextualize it again, this Oxygen's probably the best team in Challengers, let's be real. And the
Yeah.
fact that Dobros was able to give them a formidable challenge on that second map really goes to show how much they've improved. And just like Tenrek said, I mean, the other teams they have to face again for them the rest of the season are going to have a really hard time against Dobros.
Yes, but I'm excited because I get to meet with Redux, which he is waiting on the line. Ring, ring, hello. Congratulations,
Yo.
Redux, for the victory.
Thank you, thank you.
Awesome. Okay, well, I mean, Oxygen obviously picking on the Dobros today, which you guys pretty much pulled through with a huge win. I do want to ask you, you are 17, correct?
Yeah, I'm 17.
That's crazy. Okay, well, I don't know what I'm doing with my life anymore. I want to know what made you want to become pro?
I mean, I don't know. I kind of just like loved video games, and I didn't want to like grow up working 9 to 5 and like have the average Joe life. So I tried my best to go pro in video games. I did it, and maybe I can even make it bigger, but hopefully I'll be able to.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I mean, you're doing great so far. You're on a very, very good route. But, as a duelist, you play amazingly. I know we've said it a lot of times on the desk. You have a whole team behind you that helps you out. I'm curious, what are your thoughts on why you succeed so well as a duelist?
I don't really know, to be honest, because maybe I kind of, I think about the game a different way, but obviously, there's thoughts behind my plays. Like, I'm not just like brain dead running it down. I'm actually a really good teammate, despite how you see me in ranked and stuff like that. I'm actually a really good teammate, so that allows my teammates to make plays and do well, and in return they allow me to make my plays and go crazy on duelists. So that's much appreciated from my team.
It's a good thing you're not brain dead, because that would suck as a teammate for sure. So at least you saw my dog back there. He's running away. Don't mind him. At least you got that going for you. But then I guess 2 more questions really quick. So you are the youngest player on your team. Does that ever feel overwhelming?
No, I don't even think about it, to be honest. I think my teammates should treat me with the same respect as I treat them. We're equals. It's not like just because he's been playing video games for 10 years longer than me doesn't mean he's the GOAT or something. We just treat each other with respect, and the respect goes a long way, because even then, making fun of each other and poking fun, it's cool, but sometimes it's too much, and we found that balance of respecting each other, which is nice.
Awesome. Well, it seems like you guys have a lot of fun in Oxygen, winning games. So last question. I want to know, you guys obviously perform so well, and you as a player, you play amazingly all the time. What is your pre-competitive ritual?
Bro, I literally sat in bed for 5 hours today. But...
and that's
I was literally
it.
just waiting for the match. Yeah, literally, yeah. I was sitting in bed, drinking water.
No, like
meal.
YouTube, no TikTok, no nothing. You're just...
No, I don't really have no pre-game ritual. I just
Okay.
play. I log on and play, and these guys are I don't know, they aim labs for 2 hours before, screaming in the warm-up scrim. I'm just here to chill and play, bro.
You wait, so you don't even warm up, you just chill.
Yeah, I don't even warm up for real.
That's
max
crazy.
1 PM.
It's the younger diff. It's the Zoomer diff, to be completely fair, I feel. But Redux, it was honestly a pleasure to meet you. Congratulations and good luck on your next games.
Thank you. Take care.
Awesome. All right, we're going back over to the desk as well, because I know they might have some thoughts. That was interesting. I'm surprised that Redux does not warm up. He literally, honestly though, that...
play ever. He's so chill. And
I love that.
all I do is sit around, and this guy is 17. I'm gonna, dude. All right.
Bro goes into stasis at night, just waiting for the games to start. He just turns his brain off.
Imagine
Bro
waking up
cryo-freezes.
in the morning, laying in bed, logging on, getting 13-3, and then just logging off after the
I
end
do
of the
that too. I'm not radiant.
Dude.
This is crazy. This is absolutely bonkers.
I'm doing it all wrong.
Hey, I mean,
reflect on my life after
he
this.
did say he did not want a 9 to 5, and he's in the right route, to be honest, because
Yeah.
we can all agree. Now I don't want a 9 to 5, and I'm gonna do what Redux says. I'm gonna wake up, play Valorant, win, and then I'm gonna go to bed.
I believe in you.
Thank you. Awesome. Well, of course, before we go, I do want to see the group standings of what's going on so far in the grouping stage of Challengers, which not ready, actually. I lied. I lied to you guys. We're not going to see
liar.
that, and I'm so sorry.
Dang.
I tend to do that a lot,
so
just like when I
excited.
brought you guys back last time, and you guys should not have been there.
You whisked us away.
I know.
We just
It
can't
was-
trust you.
It was nice to see you guys, though, obviously.
Yeah, it was.
But
Yeah, it was like a little reunion for a bit.
I love reunions. I feel like we're having one right now. It's so good too, because I'm just sitting creeping in the Discord channel while you guys are casting, and you don't know what I'm thinking at all, and it's great.
Oh,
It's
that's
true.
disturbing. I mean,
that's
I
actually-
forget you there.
Yeah, that's at the forefront of my mind, actually, is what you could possibly be thinking while we're
It's
just casting.
not
And
even
you're
about
just
the
sitting in
game. It's
call.
what is Scomper's thinking right now. I love that.
It's like we need a whole little side section of challengers. That's just that.
I would be entertained by that. That would
A
be-
little lower third pop up that comes up every 4 rounds. What's Gopper's thinking?
Oh my! That whole game, I was just like, wow, this team is crazy.
Yeah, did you really have to? Yeah, a lot to think about for that last game for sure. I mean, again, like to speak to the praises of either of these teams is kind of tired at this point, especially for Oxygen. But I really, I don't want to overstate how good Dobros. Or understate really how good Dobros did. The rounds certainly don't speak to it, but the standings and the differential and the ways in which they've been moving upward have definitely something to show for it. And talking about group standings a little bit, they're still not going to be too shabby in this group. I mean, they still have a couple teams below them who are winless. There's still a good couple teams who have way worse map differentials than they do. I mean, Sunset really clutched up for them.
I mean, think about a month ago, right? Dobros were a series away, a map away from being relegated out of Challengers completely. They turned it around. They made it through the lower bracket flawlessly, not dropping a single map when they easily could have, and snowballed their way back out of Challengers. And now they're here looking better than ever.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, if all it takes is just waking up in the morning and playing Valorant, then
Right.
Yeah.
maybe we're
Exactly.
just doing too much. This is
I
the
wake up
psychology
too.
behind it. But of course, end of week 3, the standings are out for you guys, and surprise, surprise, not really. Oxygen at the top of that, taking in first, and Turtle Troop not too far behind. The differential obviously being way better on the side of Oxygen, but Tenric, I mean, listen, we're looking at this. Are you surprised by anything at all?
Dude, this Group A is so strong. Like, it's crazy how many teams have just, like, showed up. Like, YFP had a crazy, like, 5 anime episode training arc, apparently, during the offseason. They look nuts. Fluffy Aimers, their mechanics look absolutely insane. Blinn are now, like, the best upsetters coming out of the relegation tournament, which they also dominated. Like, this is such a crazy change in dynamic, apart from the top of the key, where obviously Oxygen and Turtle Troop sit. So the North American conversation, definitely more interesting, but if anything, the reputation of the very, very best to do it here is even less shaken.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super surprised about YFP. I think for them, I wasn't too sure how I'd feel about them making it their way through qualifiers up until now, but honestly, the roster moves that have been made for YFP recently have turned dividends for the team.
All right, well, for the end of week 3, we got to see and take a look at obviously everything that has been going on in the past. But I'm curious for next week's schedule, what are we going to be taking a look at for you guys so that you guys know when to come back? And you also have the dates on the side as well. The 19th of June, we have Oxygen versus Winthrop University. Whoa.
Dude,
You guys can scroll back to that
Wow.
and take a look at that.
slow
Alright.
down.
But
Okay.
the turn back is crazy. I love this though. It's okay. It's on auto rotator, guys, for those of you who don't know.
I mean, look, all these matches are bangers, dude.
These are going to be really good. Blinn Turtle Troop really stands out to me in particular. That one's going to be so fun to watch. That's just 10 players who are just always at 110%. That's going to be such an energetic match.
Oh, what's the biggest upset, though? I would say either Fluffy Aimers M80 or Sad Moist would be the biggest upset.
Nah, Winthrop
Really?
winning
Sad
against
Moist.
Oxygen? Crazy.
Okay, realistic ones that
Ooh.
could happen.
Okay.
Ooh, wow.
Hey, prove me wrong,
wow.
Oh. Where do I even go from there?
Step up, Winthrop.
Okay, well, I guess this is it. Anyways, no, I mean, I guess he has a point, but at the same time, every team here has been absolutely immaculate, and it's been entertaining. It's been fun games, and it's been super swagger. It's been swagger to have you guys here as well. On the desk with me for my first day hosting. Oh my gosh, let's get it. Thank you guys.
You killed it, bestie.
And you guys did absolutely amazing casting as well. Thank you so much to production for being amazing at their job and letting me completely troll at my job. So at the end of the day, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a pleasure to have you. Don't forget to come back. We have more challengers coming up very, very soon. But for the time being, we will see you in the next one.
Dead. You're over here.
Good riddance. One enemy remaining. Thrifty. One enemy remaining. One enemy. Attack. Night night. Poison. One enemy remaining.
Is ready.
Spike planted.
Target 86.
One enemy remaining. On B. Last player standing. Go! One enemy. One enemy remaining. Spike planted. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Clutch. One down. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Spike down A.